I thought cutting my family off would be the hardest decision of my life. I was wrong. The hardest part came weeks later, when my dad showed up at my door without my mom and said words I never thought I'd hear in my entire life. This story isn't just about betrayal. It's about manipulation, guilt, silence, and finally, freedom. And if you've ever been the responsible one in a toxic family, you're gonna feel this. December 25th, 7:08 p.m., Lexington, Kentucky. I stepped through my parents' front door holding an envelope of cash, money I'd pulled together to help mom and dad with their utility bills again. The living room was warm. Laughter. Christmas lights blinking. But then I saw her, my mom, Joanne, sitting on the couch, holding my sister's baby girl. Her two other kids were sprawled across the floor, playing with shiny new toys. And Mom? She looked healthier than she had in months, for someone who had just texted me that she was too frail to watch Mia for a single night. She looked damn near radiant now. My feet stopped. My heart didn't. And when they all turned toward me, the laughter died. Dad wouldn't meet my eyes. My sister Melissa blinked and offered a nervous smile. Mom? She went straight into performance mode. Brandon, oh, sweetheart, we weren't expecting you. I couldn't even respond. The cash in my hand felt radioactive. You said you couldn't watch Mia because of your health, I finally managed. My voice didn't shake, but something inside me cracked. The room froze. My mother's face fell just for a second before she recovered. Melissa, ever her defender, jumped in. It's just different, Brandon. I'm raising 3 kids on my own. Mom's just helping out. Helping out. Helping her out. Like always. 34 years of being second best collapsed in that moment. I turned to Mom. I just need to know, did you lie to me? She looked away. Melissa rolled her eyes. Dad slouched deeper into his chair. It's not like that, Mom whispered. But we all knew it was exactly like that. And just like that, I was done. No more favors. No more money. No more pretending we were a family. I walked out without another word. They didn't follow. That night, I told my wife Rachel everything. She wasn't surprised. And when I said I was cutting them off, she nodded. Do it. For you. For us. And so I did. I canceled the automatic payments, the rent, the groceries, the insurance, everything. Then I sent one final message to my mom. You're on your own now. Good luck. And I blocked every number. It didn't take long. By the next morning, my phone lit up like a 4th of July sky. Blocked numbers. Spam emails. A voicemail inbox full of sobbing and shouting. I didn't listen to a single one. Rachel watched me block each call with the kind of quiet pride that reminded me just how lucky I was to have her. But the real storm? It came from Facebook. My mom, Joanne, posted a long dramatic message that looked like it had been written while clutching a glass of cheap white wine and a rosary. This Christmas, my heart is broken. After everything I sacrificed for my son, he abandoned me when I needed him most. I raised him with love. I gave him everything I had. Now he won't even return my calls. Hundreds of comments, some from her church friends saying things like, praying for you, Joanne, stay strong. No child should treat their mother that way. But some hit different. Didn't you say you were bedridden last week? I saw you at Trader Joe's, Joe. Funny, your son paid your rent for 3 years, and now you're the victim? Turns out, people remember more than she thought. I stayed silent. Until I didn't. One clean post. No rage, no swearing, no drama. Just the truth. For years, I supported my parents financially. Rent, bills, groceries. I asked my mother to babysit my daughter for one night. She said she was too sick. Then I found her caring for my sister's kids like she was running a daycare. I cut off financial support. That was my choice. I don't owe anyone silence. And then, silence from them. But not from the world. People flooded my inbox. Friends, extended family, co-workers, even people I hadn't seen since high school. One message stood out. Reading your post helped me finally block my dad. Thank you, I didn't expect that. I didn't post for sympathy. I didn't expect a movement. But when people started sharing it, when strangers started commenting, I realized something. I wasn't alone. Then came the final move. 3 days later, a knock at the door. Rachel peeked through the peephole and turned to me. It's your parents. I froze. Together? Together. I opened the door just enough to make it clear they weren't stepping inside. My mom's eyes were red. Dad looked older than I remembered, like the guilt had finally added years to his face. She opened her mouth first, of course. Brandon, please, we just want to talk. Talk. I didn't budge from the doorway. Dad cleared his throat. We didn't mean for you to find out that way. No, I cut him off. You just didn't mean for me to find out at all. That's different. My mom reached for my arm. I stepped back. I know you're upset, she said, her voice cracking. But this, cutting us off, it's cruel. She sniffled. We can't make rent. The power's about to be shut off. Is that what you want? Your parents living in the dark? That guilt trip? Years ago, it would have worked, but not anymore. You have options, I said flatly. Dad can work. You can move somewhere smaller. Melissa can help. Or, you can figure it out the way I've been doing since I was 20. She blinked. After everything we've done for you. Name one thing, Mom, I said, my voice finally cracking. One thing in the last decade that wasn't about what I could do for you. Silence. Dad looked away. She opened her mouth, closed it again. I nodded. Exactly. I shut the door. Not loud, not aggressive, just final, and for the first time in 34 years, I felt free. No more manipulation. No more conditional love. No more trying to earn a seat at a table I was never really invited to. 2 weeks passed, and for the first time in what felt like forever, life was still. Rachel and I took Mia to the zoo. I finished a work project early. We started looking at houses outside Louisville, a fresh start, somewhere quiet. It wasn't dramatic, it wasn't explosive, but it was peaceful. And that peace tasted sweeter than anything I'd known growing up. Then, one evening, as Rachel was upstairs putting Mia to bed, the doorbell rang. I checked the peephole. It was just my dad. Not Joanne. No drama in tow. No crocodile tears waiting on the porch. Just Frank, hands in his coat pockets, snow dusting his shoulders, looking 10 years older than I remembered. I opened the door, but didn't step aside. He didn't ask to come in. Hey, he said, voice low. Can we talk? 5 minutes. I hesitated. Rachel, passing by upstairs, caught my eye and nodded. Your call. I stepped aside. We sat on opposite ends of the couch, blinking Christmas lights still half-strung behind us. He stared at his hands like he was scared to look at me. Then he spoke. She doesn't know I'm here. Your mom. That got my attention. Then why are you? He exhaled, long and hard. Because I owe you something. I owe you the one thing I never gave you when you needed it. The truth. I didn't expect what came next. He admitted he let it all happen. That he let my mom manipulate the house, the finances, the favoritism. That he saw how hard I worked, how much I gave, and chose silence every single time. Why? Because it was easier, he said. Easier than fighting her. Easier than facing myself. He said the words every son waits his whole life to hear. I failed you, Brandon. I let you carry weight that wasn't yours. and I'm proud of you for finally putting it down." For a long time, I didn't say anything. Then I asked quietly, "So, what now?" He shrugged. "They're moving in with Melissa." I raised an eyebrow. "Let me guess, she's already regretting it?" He smirked, actually smirked. Let's just say reality hit harder than she expected. I chuckled, couldn't help it. For the first time in, maybe ever, my dad and I shared a moment that felt real. Not forced, not polite. Human. As he stood to leave, he paused at the door. "Merry Christmas, son. You've got a beautiful little girl, and you're a better father than I ever was." Before I could answer, he was already halfway down the porch steps, the snow catching in his graying hair. Rachel came back down a minute later, found me still standing by the door. "You okay?" she asked softly. I nodded. "Yeah, I think I am." That night, as we finished decorating the tree, just the three of us, I felt it. Not closure, but something better. Freedom. Life kept moving. We spent New Year's Eve, just the three of us, curled up in pajamas, watching fireworks through the upstairs window while Mia shouted, "Boom!" every time one lit up the sky. It was peaceful, quiet, ours. No fake family dinners, no guilt-wrapped invitations, no expectations to play the good son, the dependable provider, the backup plan. I thought the story had ended. But then, 2 months later, a text came from an unknown number. "Hey, it's Melissa. Can we talk?" I stared at it for a long time. I hadn't seen or heard from her since I walked out of Mom's living room. What could she possibly want now? But something in me, curiosity maybe, or just the need for full closure, texted back. When and where? We met at a coffee shop near downtown Louisville. Neutral ground. She was already there when I arrived. No full face makeup, no designer coat, just a regular woman in jeans and a tired hoodie. I barely recognized her. She looked real. She stood when I approached, smiled nervously. "Thanks for coming." I nodded, didn't return the smile. "What's this about, Melissa?" She sat, wrapped her hands around her cup like she needed it to stay grounded. "I owe you an apology," she said, her voice low. "Like, a real one." I didn't say anything, just waited. She exhaled hard, eyes darting everywhere but mine. When Mom and Dad moved in with me, I thought it'd be fine. They'd help with the kids. Chip in a little. Maybe things would finally even out between us. I raised an eyebrow. "How'd that work out for you?" Her smile was thin and humorless. Mom criticized everything. My cooking. The way I disciplined the kids. My job. Dad just watched TV and muttered about the thermostat. She paused. "I get it now. What you dealt with all those years." I didn't want to believe it, because it was easier to think I was the favorite than to admit they were just using us differently. Her voice cracked. "I was awful to you. I let them pit us against each other. I let them dump everything on you and acted like I deserved the help more." I couldn't tell if the silence between us was healing or just heavy. She looked up at me finally. "I'm not asking for anything. Not forgiveness, not a second chance. I just needed you to know. You were right. About all of it. For the first time in our entire adult lives, Melissa didn't have a defense. She had perspective. And I didn't realize how much I needed that until I felt something loosen in my chest. "Thanks for saying that," I said quietly. "Took you long enough." She laughed softly, wiped at her eyes. "Yeah, I deserve that." We talked for a while longer. Nothing deep. Her new job, my new house, the weather. Before we left, she said, "I'm trying to break the cycle, for my kids. No guilt trips, no manipulation, just honesty." I nodded. That's the only way anything changes. As she stood, she hesitated. "Your daughter, She's lucky, you know. I smiled. She makes me better, whether I deserve it or not. That night, I tucked Mia in and sat on the edge of her bed while she played with her stuffed dinosaur. "Daddy?" she asked, voice sleepy. "Are you happy?" I looked at her. At this perfect little person who loved me unconditionally. And for the first time, I didn't hesitate. "Yeah, sweetheart," I whispered. "I really am."